is my rule of thumb, man. It's a very interesting thing, very interesting question. As far as your truth, transparency, and vulnerability, because I'm a comedian, I literally tell all my junk on stage to a bunch of strangers all the time. So that's my normal. But in a relationship, you got to find somebody who can value. But you have to be mindful of what you can handle. Because if you haven't settled your junk with yourself and you tell somebody else and you expect this wonderful moment because you shared your truth, you're setting yourself up for failure. But if you're used to like, this is who I am and I'm telling you my truth because you can't use this against me and I'm clear with it, like it's fine. So my rule of thumb is never give more than what you can afford to lose. And you can't share your truth with everybody because everybody can't handle your truth. I've dated somebody who I used to tell them about the kind of person I used to be before I met Jesus. BC days, before I met Christ, right? And we had an argument and they brought up randomly what I used to do. And I'm like, why are you bringing that up now when that's not even the case? And because I gave them information, they used it against me and weaponized my vulnerability. And I'm like, we're not doing that. I can't do life with you. And literally from that day, it reminded me, I can't do life with you because you would weaponize my vulnerability. I can't be a partner with you because everything I say for you, to me, I'm purging and sharing with somebody I love. To you, you're like, I'm using this so as ammunition later on. So when we argue, I got this in my back pocket to keep you in your place. I'm not doing that with somebody and I can't do life with you. So for me, that was my thing. So that's why I was like, everybody can't handle your vulnerability, but you got to honestly trust your spirit and trust the person you with and trust your gut when you with somebody. If you with somebody and you share something with them and they're like, oh, that's cool. Well, I've been through this too. And they sharing their truth and you going back and forth. You're like, oh, we got level playing field versus like you sharing all your truth and they ain't got nothing to say because they so arrogant and they so full of their ego that they ain't trying to do vulnerability. And you can't do intimacy without vulnerability. You can't do intimacy without vulnerability. If you with somebody and they scared to tell you they junk, that's a good starting point of, okay, we ain't on the same level. Because once they start sharing with you, they're going to expect you to like give this magical expectation, and that ain't how it is. And they start giving you should. Well, if I do this, you should, and you should. Like, should is the most dangerous thing in a relationship. You got to do what is. Like I told my wife just now, like when she got mad at me, she used to remind me what niggas used to do for her. Like, oh, I'm used to guys that, I'm like, don't tell me what you used to. Like, don't say should. Like, no, this is. I'm not that guy, but I know I have potential. I'm a great guy. You know what I'm saying? And I had to tell her, like, yo, you can't tell me all that. I don't need to hear that. Like, that ain't my conversation. You know what I'm saying? But we had to learn that. And literally got to a place where we share our truth. And I feel like one of the best parts of our relationship is like our pillow talk. When we come home and we unplug and we land on the pillow, you know what I'm saying? We lay in bed and we just decompress from our day. It's like, for me as a man, having a safe space to be able to share your truth with somebody that you love and you know they're not going to share or shame you with it, man, it's priceless. Because this world, you don't have a lot of space to be vulnerable because your boys don't want to hear it. You can't talk about it with your parents because they don't get it. They're a different generation. And then, you know, the homies, they going to try to clown you for whatever. So, like, it is what it is. But my lady, she's my buddy and she's my friend. And I genuinely love her and I'm grateful that I found my friend.
I was so transparent, honest. And like he said, he was so honest and transparent with somebody before that they used it against him, that when me and him got together, I was so honest and transparent with him, but he didn't know how to be that with me because at that point he had already put his guards up because when he was transparent and honest with somebody, they used it against him. So he had to put his guards up. So yeah, we were at two different phases when we first met because I was like, oh, I'm going to be so honest and I'm going to be so real and I'm going to be me 100%. And he was like, no, I'm not going to be that because when I was that, it was used against me. So it took us a while to come to a point where we were both completely honest with each other. And we were okay with each other being completely honest. Yeah,
and somebody said something about oversharing. I feel like oversharing is relevant when it's all subjective. You know what I'm saying? If you're the right person that you share and they receive it and they get you, it's not oversharing. But the wrong person who's not emotionally intelligent and their grace and love tank is not is about this big, or they have small love, your any form of sharing is too much to somebody who is emotionally illiterate. You know what I'm saying? So you got to find somebody who can handle, you know, you and your truth, because real love is like being able to say, this is who I am and I'm not perfect, but I'm willing to stay in this boat with you and I ain't going nowhere. That's what real love look like versus like, I'm gonna show you the best version of myself and I'll never show you who the parts of me that I'm ashamed of, because that ain't real love.
Real love.
Get it, babe.